Yeah, let's go. Chapter 1. Observing the armies on the battlefield of Kuruksetra. First of all, before we go there, we have to understand, and that's why sometimes it's difficult to have a first approach with the Bhagavad Gita, because we need to understand the characters. Usually, the main characters of the Gita are Krishna and Arjuna. Krishna was Arjuna's chariot driver. That was the role he was playing, just driving him throughout the battlefield. He said that as he was Krishna, he couldn't fight, you know, it would be unfair. And but he would at least do that. And so he takes this position with Arjuna, that are the main characters of the Gita. But on the first chapter, we have to know Dhritarashtra.
Dhritarashtra.
Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra was Arjuna's uncle, and he was a blind king. If you pay attention, I don't know how well you can see this picture, but the guy was totally blind. He couldn't see. So he didn't go to war, but he had Sanjaya, and Sanjaya was a kind of a mystical guy who had special powers to see things like in a vision. Like if he enter in the Miração world. That's how the Bhagavad Gita starts, actually. Dhritarashtra asking Sanjaya, "Hey Sanjaya, what is happening there?" And Sanjaya, with his mystical powers, tells what happens on the battlefield of Kuruksetra. Also, important people, Duryodhana.
Duryodhana.
Duryodhana was Dhritarashtra's oldest son. Dhritarashtra had 100 children. And then the kingdom should belong to Arjuna and his brother. But as their father had died, Dhritarashtra became the king, and they didn't want to pass the kingdom, so that's why they had this war. Also, Drona was the teacher of Duryodhana, Arjuna, the military teacher. Okay, these are few characters from the first chapter. And Bhishma. Bhishma was the grandfather of the Kurus, the Kuru dynasty. Okay, so throughout the Gita, the main conversation is about Krishna and Arjuna, but specifically at this first chapter, all these characters are like, whoa. That's why, Samira, it's hard a little bit to know. It's confusing, the words, but I hope I can help. Okay. Any question? No? So there we are, starting our journey into the Bhagavad Gita as it is. Chapter 1, Observing the Armies on the Battlefield of Kuruksetra. So, typically, when we start uh, reading the Bhagavad Gita, they usually say a mantra. So I'm going to follow the tradition and I'm going to repeat it, okay? It's part of that. And they usually say, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. There starts the first chapter. We're going to read the verses, okay? And that starts with, do you remember this guy? Dhritarashtra, the blind king, and
Uh, I
Dhritarashtra.
I have a
Yes,
question.
yes, please.
Is this a specific mantra or can be anyone?
No, this is one specific mantra that they always read, they always sing before they start reading the Bhagavad Gita or the Srimad Bhagavatam. It's tradition
Hmm.
from Srila Prabhupada from the Vedanta
Uh,
tradition.
okay,
Yes,
thank you.
yes, yeah. It's not something, oh, you have to do it. But I like, it's beautiful. It's like, let's try and focus and offer, and ask for help because I wish this great consciousness helps us understand this. Yeah, it's really
Hmm.
deep. Dhritarashtra said, "Oh, Sanjay, after my sons and the sons of Pandu, his brother, assembled in the place of pilgrimage at Kuruksetra, desiring to fight. What did they do?" So Sanjaya said, "O king, after looking over the army arranged in military formation by the sons of Pandu, King Duryodhana went to his teacher, Drona, and spoke the following words." Duryodhana is Dhritarashtra's son, okay? And then he went to Drona and he said, this is from the book here, yeah, plate one. In the middle of the Bhagavad Gita, there are some pictures, and that is the first picture representing, yeah. So I just took a picture and put it there. Dhritarashtra said, "O Sanjay, after my sons and the sons of Pandu assemble in this place, what did they do?" And then he said that his son spoke to Drona, "O my teacher, behold the great army of the sons of Pandu, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupad. Here in this army are many heroic bowmen, equal in fighting to Bhima and Arjuna. Great fighters like Yuyudhan, Virat, and Drupad. There are also great heroic, powerful fighters like Drishtaketu, Chekitan, Kashiraj, Purujit, Kuntiboj, and Shaibya. There are mighty Yudamanyu, the very powerful Uttamoja, the son of Subhadra, and the sons of Draupadi. All these warriors are great chariot fighters. Chariot, yes? You see here, Arjuna and Krishna na chariots. They are chariot fighters. The Roman empires, they also use it, but usually with two wheels. They have with four, like a car. But for your information, O best of the Brahmins, teachers, Brahmins, let me tell you about the captains who are especially qualified to lead my military force. There are personalities like you, Bhishma, Karna, Kripa, Ashvatthama, Vikarna, and the son of Somadatta called Bhurishrava, who are always victorious in battle. There are many other heroes who are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake. They are ready to die for me. All of them are well equipped with different kinds of weapons, and all are experienced in military science. Our strength is immeasurable, and we are perfectly protected by grandfather Bhishma, whereas the strength of the Pandavas, carefully protected by Bhima, is limited. All of you must now give full support to Grandfather Bhishma as you stand at your respective strategic points of entrance into the phalanx of the army. And then Bhishma, the great valiant grandson of the Kuru dynasty, the grandfather of the fighters, blew his conch shell very loudly, making a sound like the roar of a lion, giving Duryodhana joy. Do you know a conch shell, guys? Conch shell. Let me show you something here. What is Bhishma doing? He's blowing his conch shell. This is very typical in India. You see, on festivals, priests blow conch shell, shank, two conch shells. That is what Bhishma did. He had a conch shell and he blew. And then, why did he do that? To show, yes, this is my power, sound, my vibration. And then, when he did that, oh my, you see, he blew his conch shell very loudly, like making a sound like the roar of a lion, giving Duryodhana joy. Yeah. Mm. After that, the conch shells, drums, bugles, trumpets, and horns were all suddenly sounded, and the combined sound was tumultuous. So the army, Duryodhana's army, started to make noise. Yeah, and noise. After that, on the other side, both Lord Krishna and Arjuna, stationed on a great chariot drawn by white horses, sounded their transcendental conch shells. And that's very interesting because even their conch shells, they have names. You know, don't ask me why. I say, oh my God, this is the law, you know. Wow, because they're so special, they had names. Lord Krishna blew his conch shell called Panchajanya. Arjun blew his, the Devadatta, and Bhima, the voracious eater and performer of Herculean tasks. Bhima was Arjuna's brother, blew his terrific conch shell called Pondra. Huh. Pause here just to show how beautiful. I was like, wow, this is so Devanagari. Yeah, now we are going to see the texts from 16 to 18 altogether. King Yudhishthira, the son of Kunti, blew his conch shell, the Ananta Vijaya. And Nakula and Sahadeva blew the Sugosha and Manipushpaka. The great archer, the king of Kashi, the great fighter Shikandi, Drishtadyumna, Virat, the unconquerable Satyaki, Drupad, the sons of Draupadi, and the others, O king, such as the mighty arms, son of Subhadra, all blew their respective conch shells. So, like the other army, Arjuna's army did the same, The blowing of these different conch shells became uproarious, vibrating both in the sky and on the earth. It shattered the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra. That part is very important. Why is that? You see, Dhritarashtra and Bhishma and everybody, Drona, they blew. And then Arjuna's side responded. So they were not shaken by Dhritarashtra's power, but their force, Arjuna and company force, broke, shattered, destroyed the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra. When they heard, it was like, caraca, wow, these guys are very powerful, you know. Oh, at that time, Arjun, the son of Pandu was the king, and he died, you know, when Arjuna was a kid. So that's why Dhritarashtra became the king for some time, you know. And then Arjun, the son of Pandu, seated in the chariot bearing the flag marked with Hanuman. We have the flag of Brazil, Ordem e Progresso. That's the flag of Brazil. And Arjuna used the mark of Hanuman. Took up his bow and prepared to shoot his arrow, as you see there in the picture. You see? O king, after looking at the sons of Dhritarashtra drawn in military array, Arjuna then spoke to Lord Krishna these words. Arjuna said, O infallible one, please draw my chariot between the two armies so that I may see those present here who desire, people who want to fight. I want to see who is going to fight, who is here, and with whom I must contend in this great trial of arms. Basically, Krishna, take my chariot, put there, because I want to see who is present. Let me see who have come here to fight, wishing to please the evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra, Duryodhana. I want to see who is there. Sanjaya said, O descendant of Bharat. That's very interesting because I don't know if you know, but the name of India in India is not India, but Bharata Varsa. Varsa is land, land of Bharat. Yeah, Bharat was a great king in that region, and then Sanjaya is calling Dhritarashtra as descendant of Bharat. Having thus been addressed by Arjun, Lord Krishna drew up the fine chariot in the midst of the armies of both parties, both sides. Krishna put the chariot there. In the presence of Bhishma, Drona, and all the other chieftains of the world, the Lord Krishna said, just behold, Parth, all the Kurus assemble here. Look, it's your family. There, Arjuna could see within the midst of the armies of both parties, he could see his fathers, grandfathers, teachers, maternal uncles, brothers, sons, grandsons, friends, and also his fathers in law and well wishers. When the son of Kunti, Arjun, saw all these different grades of friends and relatives, his family and friends, he became overwhelmed with compassion and spoke thus. Arjuna said, My dear Krishna, see my friends and relatives present before me. in such a fighting spirit. I feel the limbs of my body quivering and my mouth drying up. My whole body is trembling. My hair is standing on end. My bow Gandiva is slipping from my hand. My skin is burning. I am now unable. I can't stand here any longer. I am forgetting myself and my mind is reeling. I see only causes of misfortune, disaster. Oh Krishna, killer of the Kashi demon. I see disaster coming. I do not see how any good can come from killing my own kinsman in this battle. Nor can I, my dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom, or happiness. How can I, like kill? Imagine that. Try to put yourself in his shoes. Imagine that you have to fight and kill people you loved. How would you feel about it? Oh Govinda, Krishna, of what avail to us? What's the use of a kingdom, happiness, or even life itself? When all those for whom we may desire them are now arrayed on this battlefield. What avail to us? What is good about this? What's, even life, if you don't have the people that you love, what is life, you know? Oh Madhusudan, when teachers, fathers, sons, grandfathers, maternal uncles, fathers in law, grandsons, brothers in law, and other relatives are ready to give up their lives and properties and die, and are standing before me. Why should I wish to kill them, even though they might otherwise kill me? O maintainer of all living entities, I'm not prepared to fight with them, even in exchange for the three worlds, let alone this earth. What pleasure will we derive from killing the sons of Dhritarashtra? Sin will overcome us if we slay, kill such aggressors. Therefore, it's not proper for us to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and our friends. What should we gain, O Krishna, husband of the goddess of fortune? And how could we be happy by killing our own kinsmen, our friends, our relatives, people we love, kinsmen? Oh, Janardhan, you see, they have many different names for Krishna. This is another one, Janardana. Although these men, their hearts overtaken by greed. Oh, greed. My, I want for me, greed. Yeah, their heart. Although these men, their hearts overtaken by greed, see no fault in killing one's family or quarreling with friends. Why should we, who can see the crime in destroying a family, engage in these acts of sin? Why should we do this? With the destruction of the dynasty, the eternal family tradition is vanquished. And thus, the rest of the family becomes involved in irreligion. When irreligion is prominent in the family or Krishna, the women of the family become polluted. And from the degradation of womanhood, or descendant of Vrishni, comes unwanted progeny. People have children without wanting to have children. An increase of one unwanted population certainly causes hellish life, both for the family and for those who destroy the family tradition. The ancestors of such corrupt families fall down because the performances for offering them food and water are entirely stopped. By the evil deeds of those who destroy the family tradition and thus give rise to unwanted children. All kinds of community projects and family welfare activities are devastated. O Krishna, maintainer of the people, I've heard by disciplic succession that those whose family traditions are destroyed dwell, live, live, dwell always in hell. Alas, oh my God, how strange it is that we are preparing to commit greatly sinful acts. We are preparing to do bad stuff, driven by the desire to enjoy royal happiness. We are intent on killing our own kinsmen. Better for me if the sons of Dhritarashtra, weapons in hand, were to kill me unarmed and unresisting on the battlefield. I prefer to die than kill them. That's what Arjuna is saying. Krishna, Sanjaya said, Arjuna, having thus spoken on the battlefield, cast aside his bow and arrows, and sat down on the chariot, his mind overwhelmed with grief. And this is the beginning of the Gita. In summary, chapter 1, observing the armies on the battlefield of Kuruksetra. As the opposing armies stand poised, they prepare for battle. Arjun, the mighty warrior, sees his intimate relatives, teachers, and friends in both armies ready to fight and sacrifice their lives. Overcome by grief and pity, Arjuna fails in strength. His mind becomes bewildered and he gives up his determination to fight. And that's the end of the first chapter.